Hello, my dear friends, my lovely audiences, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show, the East-West. Name is Jack, with G&E TV. Last Sunday, what happened in Las Vegas got very viral. The whole country is talking about it, if not the whole world. When the news settled themselves on that layer, the issue underneath that's flopped up. And it is an old issue. It's been a subject we've been talking about for quite some time, for years after years at least. We go back as probably all the way we started this show. We grabbed the subject. We went on and on and on and on talking about that is gun control versus violence, or gun restrictions versus violence, or we say gun management, whatever, versus violence. So today, once again, we are picking up the subject, and joining me is my good friend Ken Hemming. Mr. Ken Hemming is a philosopher. He is a close friend of mine for many years, and he is also a close friend to the community. And he's a lover to the community. To Ken, welcome to the show.
I'm happy to be here. I wish our subject was more glorious, but to share our thoughts with your viewers is my great honor.
I feel the same way. Otherwise, I will be in a much better mood.
Right, right.
Only the subject is too heavy. Lots of people died, lots of people wounded, and people are still at this very moment as we speak.
Oh, yeah.
And they are still kind of getting frightened. And I saw pictures of people of several other states whereby guns are allowed. Concealed weapons or even not concealed weapons are allowed on the street though.
Good.
Lots of people going shopping, lots of people going supermarket wearing guns. So, okay, now, to what had happened, Cam, you want to give a little about your impression, rough impression, please?
Sure. Number one, this fellow, okay, who happened to be an accountant, which I was a CPA.
Yeah, you're
okay,
you're a
he was an
colleague.
accountant worth a couple $1 million.
You're a colleague, right?
Not my colleague.
No.
Worth a lot of money, and has managed to kind of have no social media exposure, because they can't find things that he's been communicating with anybody on there. And actually, in a way, like, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, our country's in big trouble, okay, for a lot of reasons that we can discuss, Jack, and you'll disagree with most of them. But we're in big trouble, and with all of the planning he did, and he had 22,000 people out there when he opened fire, we are so blessed that only 59 were killed, because he was, putting out 400.
He was planning on even more.
Oh, much more.
In the room, there are 1,600 rounds.
Yeah, rounds of, maybe more, but yeah, I think that was in his car.
But more than 30 guns were confiscated.
Right, but it was amazing how fast the first responders, and there's a great hero in the hallway that helped tremendously, and was even shot, and he stayed there. But and also there's about 500 that were injured, but a lot of those injuries were not bullet wounds. People were trampling each other. So there's a lot of injuries from being trampled by panicked people, okay? And it was a great display of regular, ordinary citizens that hung in there helping everybody and did not panic and freak out. They took the risk of helping people, including one gentleman that laid on top of his wife and got shot and killed. So there's a lot of beautiful stories.
Not only one, many.
Well, there weren't many that were killed.
Many died protecting their loved ones.
People, yeah, but so the guy, in a way, with all the planning that he did, I think he kind of failed to have the magnitude of disaster that he sought. Okay, So, and I have no surprise. This is what's happening. There'll be another one, there'll be another one, there'll be another one. And Jack, let me say this. So within an hour, okay, our great friend Hillary Clinton is slamming the National Rifle Association, saying horrible things about gun control. Now, let me ask you this question.
We'll touch that part a little later. Right now, I know. We have 4 segments to go. We have plenty of time, right?
A very significant
let's hold on
issue.
to the criticism part. Let's see some positivities.
There's tremendous positivity.
And we want to put positivities together for our audience to see some hope. We're a nation of proud. We're a nation of freedom, and we have never capitulated to any situation like that, right? And not only the fact that husbands protected wives, brothers protect sisters,
absolutely,
even strangers protect strangers,
right?
But also the fact. Remember, I saw a clip of a guy trying to stop to a shooter, saying that shoot me instead. They're a baby, they're a woman, or something like that. You saw that guy?
No, I did not.
An image.
I do the same thing.
A guy kind of waving at the
to attract attention.
To attract attention.
To keep it away from innocent young people and women.
Save the women. Spare the women. Spare the babies. And shoot me instead.
Right.
Those are heroic acts. Yeah. That
Many
really spells out the American spirit.
The soul of America.
The soul of
America. For the middle class of Americans.
Yes. And also the first responders, they got the guy within less than 10 minutes.
Right. They identified the room, and that was with the help of the Jose Santos or something that was a security guy in the hallway.
Never forget that. It is nighttime around 10 something past 10, right? And it's dark outside, even though Las Vegas is the most illuminated city.
You're right.
It is dark.
Yeah.
It is dark, right? And all of a sudden you have music loud as hell, and in the midst of the music there comes the ba 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 ba.
Yeah.
Like little crackers.
Right. Like firecrackers.
Like firecrackers. All of a sudden.
Right.
And for anybody to allocate the shooter or even the direction, it's going to be a hell of a job.
Well, it's a very hard job, yeah. Because you had to be calm and look around to see where the flashes were coming for bullets.
Yes. And then to actually get to it, and by the moment the first responder, 2 cops, arrived by the corridor.
Yeah.
On the corridor next to the, right to the leading to the room.
Right.
It was less than 10 minutes.
It was very fast. But see, here's the guy Jose that was in the hallway, and the shooter. I will not ever use his name. Okay, he's the shooter.
The shooter guy.
Yeah. He had cameras out there where he could see if anybody was coming down the hallway. So when he saw this security guard coming down the hallway and he got in front of the door, he shot through the door, and the guy got shot in the leg. He's lucky he didn't die. He didn't run for help. He didn't run to get medical aid. He stayed in there
and he
helping. He stayed, and he is a true hero. And I believe he'll get one of our national medals.
He directed the cops to
that door.
To exact the door, to that door, because the cops were not knocking doors to doors at that very moment.
Yeah, they were.
Right.
And on floor 31 and 32.
Yeah. And also I saw pictures and even the clips of those guys who were actually leaving the moment before the shooting happened. They were actually leaving the spot.
Because it was the end of the concert.
And then they heard some gunshots. One guy said, maybe some gunshots. No, it couldn't be.
Right.
Oh, yes, we are hearing some gunshots.
Right.
And then they turn around.
Yeah.
Turn around to help the crowd.
Right.
To help the wounded.
Right.
They ended up bringing truckloads of people.
Right.
To hospital for emergency.
Right. Before the ambulances came, one guy saw keys in the truck. He took the truck, and they loaded 5 to 10 people in the back of the truck and headed to the hospital, and he made multiple trips. Those are real
exactly
beautiful
on the contrary. I saw on WeChat, a bunch of girls driving a car.
Okay.
When those audiences, those crowd,
Right.
trying to run out,
away, yeah.
right out. Somebody want to get to the car
Yeah.
because that goes faster.
Right.
And they say, shut the door, shut the door, shut the door, never let them on.
Well, they didn't know what they're doing. They just didn't know what they're doing. I'm not going to blame them. They didn't know what was going on.
So people doing different things
Right,
anyway.
right.
They were doing different things. And a lot of people died heroically.
See, they don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
You got a crowd coming at you. You're afraid.
Yeah. And there is description about this couple. When the gunfire broke, the guy pushed the wife down on the ground and says, I love you.
Right.
Says, I love you. And before the wife realized what's happening, blood was kind of coming out of his mouth.
I know.
And she knew he's dying.
He did.
And the last word he left is, I love you.
It's the way to leave the planet Earth.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah. So lots of positive elements we're seeing.
Yep.
And in the hospital, doctors run shift after shift.
No, they're working 18,
save
20 hours a
lives.
day.
To save lives, to save lives.
About 500 went to hospitals.
No, 515 at one time.
Well, whatever.
At one time, they say wounded 515, and then later the number was reduced because there was a recount.
Well, right, and they weren't
was some
all
kind
they
of
weren't
recount.
all wounded. Like I said, some were trampled because people trample, and that's where like at soccer games people die of being trampled. Really, it's just panic. It's panic.
Panic, yeah.
That's life.
And that brings exactly to the question: when something happens, probably we should get a professional here to talk about of a crowd event or law enforcement in people. Is it better to get down on the get down on the ground right away, or is that to run right away? Which is better?
I would say run as fast as you can to some place where
Because
there's a
you
wall
don't
or
know where
something.
the bullets are coming from. You
that's
might
fine.
run into the bullet.
Well, you might, and that's life. If you lay there, you're just a stagnant target, which gives you greater chance of being shot. Keep moving. It's hard,
moving.
Jack. I've talked to guys in World War II veterans and Vietnam veterans. It's hard to hit a moving target. Okay. Now he was shooting so many rounds that they're just. I've always said life and death are random. So whoever was in there that did get shot, it's just a random bullet. But so keep moving.
23,000 people
Right, a lot.
got together in a very condensed way, very compact
they were
way.
close, yeah.
Almost shoulder to
Body
shoulder.
to body.
Body to body, shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
For him, such a big target is as big as the whole
You didn't have to aim. You
as
just
the whole theater.
shoot.
You don't have to
Just
to
shoot.
aim, just
Yeah.
to shoot.
Yeah.
And nobody will miss or something like that.
Well, it's just all luck. Good luck or bad luck.
All right. Anyway, so to run away is the best to you, right?
Well, what I would do, I hope what I would do is, how can I be helpful? But I wouldn't stand there or lay there and do nothing. I would run for some cover and then be looking. Who can I help? Who can I drag out of there? Who can I do whatever? And I'm not afraid. I mean, if that's my time, that's my time.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. And well, everybody has to die.
We're all dead. Yeah.
People die. People die on this every single day.
Right.
The only thing is that if you die gloriously.
Well, with dignity, yes.
Yeah, with dignity,
Right.
of course. You lie. All right, my dear friend, my dear lovely audience, is with my good friend Ken Hemming. We're sharing about a sad moment of Las Vegas shooting, from which we did see, we're still seeing the glories. We're seeing the proudness. We're seeing why America is America. And for that, God bless America. God bless everybody.
Absolutely.
So we'll take a break and we'll be right back, please. Hello, dear friends, lovely audience. Welcome back to the show. My name is Jack with G&E TV on the East West Show with Lots of Proud. Yes, we're today talking about the Las Vegas shooting. That incident has left a big scar to the heart of Americans. And yet, in the meantime, it has shown a lot of heroes, lots of glorifying moments, or scenes, or clips, or flashes that we feel that so comfortable about. We are confident that America is intact.
Yes.
America is not unchallengeable. So, with my friend Ken Hemming, a commentator, political commentator, a good friend, a lover to the community, a philosopher also himself. Oh, he's a writer. His book, Life So Simple, 100 Words to Live By. By the way, I would have to ask you later,
yes, sir,
to get a few words out of your book to
yes,
hold on to, right? To see
yes,
through,
absolutely,
to hold on to. And you just now go during the break mentioned about something you also noticed.
Well, here's the deal, Jack.
Mm-hmm.
If, you know, I think this whole thing where they all of a sudden everybody screams, particularly the radical left, about gun control,
Mm-hmm.
okay? We do have the Second Amendment, and it is intended for us to be able to protect ourselves in our homes and against government tyranny, if it were to happen. Now, say I stab you, okay? Nobody blames the knife. Say I blow you up. Nobody blames the bomb. But if I shoot you, everybody blames the gun. And on its surface, that's idiotic. It is not the gun.
That's a different philosophy. You're shifting once
It's
again.
the truth.
No, I know. Once again, you're shifting grounds.
Not
you're
really.
You're shifting foundations. Like I once reminded you.
I don't think so.
By philosophy, there's always a term of shifting foundations. You're not shifting foundation. Okay, now, when you're stabbed, nobody blamed the knife.
Right.
Because the knife is a
Just
knife.
an inanimate
it's a
object.
dead knife.
Just like a gun.
It's the guy who kills you with a knife.
Right.
Right. Okay. Now you're talking about effectiveness, right? And neutrally, we're talking about a gun is more effective at killing.
A bomb's more effective than a gun.
A bomb is more effective at a gun, well, sure, for sure.
Right.
And the other side of the story is that a bomb cannot be concealed here.
Oh, yes, it can. What do you think they wear their bomb vests, Jack?
Oh yeah,
They're all concealed. Of course they are.
That's another shift of ground.
No, it's
I'm
not.
talking about a handheld weapon. Handheld weapon, the gun kills the most, right?
That's not true.
Why people not blaming. Okay, and also the other fact that I find out in your statement was that we're now not talking about gun control. We're talking about gun restrictions, gun laws.
Well,
to modify the gun laws to get a better control of guns, to get a better hand of gun control. That's the thing.
well, let me say this, okay? This is what I believe with all my heart, with all my soul.
Yeah.
The radical left and the leadership, like Chuck Schumer, Pelosi, Hillary, all those people, they want, if they could have their dream to come true, it would be that every gun that an American has is turned into the government. So the government has more control over us. It's not going to happen, but that's what they want. It is not some little things. That's what they desire.
You may be exaggerating. Of course,
That's okay.
I absolutely disagree with you.
And I absolutely agree.
What I would ask you for forgiveness is that I want to ask you for you to lower down your elevation to understand one fact, that we are only talking about gun control measures, right? We're not banning guns, right? We're not banning guns.
But they want to.
No. If they want it, that's their problem. Okay, I don't want it.
It is their problem, yeah.
I don't want it.
It's our problem.
No. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get step by step, point
Okay.
to point. Okay, now, nobody, even the radical left, or I say extreme right, or whoever, nobody wants to ban the guns.
Well,
The gun right is provided, is given by Constitution, almost by God.
have you heard these people in big places saying they want to eliminate the Second Amendment? They want to get rid of it.
No.
They
That's
do.
another subject for another day.
Okay.
Right. Today we're talking about under Constitution Amendment number 2, we do have the right to possess guns, right?
Right.
And nobody goes against it. I'm 100% for it. No problem. Right. That's why I say nobody want to wave a flag, say let's ban the guns.
Yes, they do actually. But that's okay. We have our thoughts.
Are you? You're being circuitic.
No, I'm not.
You know circuitic?
It's the truth. Yes, circuitous.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, let's say under one condition, people do not want to ban gun rights. Right?
As a general statement.
As a
correct.
general statement. Okay. They only want to have better gun laws. For that, can you find yourself? Can you tell me if you are or you are not in support?
One of the strongest gun control cities is Chicago. 700 black youth get murdered, get killed there, and like a few thousand are wounded every year. The less guns you have around, the less safe you are. It's that simple. And also, by the way, one other very important thing, Jack, is 2/3 of all people that are killed by guns during a year in America are from suicides. Okay, it's not all crime. It's from suicides, you know. And very interestingly too,
So
if a woman has
gun kills more effectively.
if there wasn't a gun, you'd hang yourself, you'd take poison. So it has no effect. The gun has no effect on the number of suicides. None. None.
All right, I know. Now, once again, you get me lost.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm talking about gun restriction of guns.
Right.
Okay, gun control laws.
Yeah.
Right. Get some rules for guns.
There's tremendous amount. Background checks. Now they want to tighten background checks. That's fine
You
with me
argue
too.
like a 3-year-old.
No. Background is one of the big deals right now is background checks. There are background checks. This shooter went through all the background checks.
How about what they got about bomb stocks?
Well, that I don't care about because that's not a part of the gun. That is
bomb
something.
stocks.
Yeah, I'm. Go ahead and get rid of those.
Accessory to
Obama
guns.
put them in. Okay, Reagan took them out during his administration, and Obama authorized those again. Now it's not a part of the weapon. It's something you attach to the weapon. Fine, do away with them. You could use a belt and just go like that and pull off as many shots as a bump stock. So that's fine. Get rid of no problem.
Okay, you agree to that, right?
Well, yeah,
okay,
I think it
and
makes
then
no difference.
How about bigger magazines? 30 rounds, like say 30 rounds.
I don't think you should limit. Look, the Second Amendment is to protect ourselves in case of real serious dangers.
Okay, now let's do this. How do you support the ban of automatic guns?
I don't support it.
You don't support it?
No, I don't support
machine
it.
guns?
Well, there's not many Americans that have machine guns. Now, there's a lot of museums that have machine guns, but there's not a lot of Americans that have machine guns. But
right.
almost half of the households in America
And then
have
the
a
gun
weapon.
background check you support
Oh,
already.
sure, of course.
Okay. And now you're not totally against it.
No, I'm not against
partially,
anything.
You partially support it.
Well,
Why you paint yourself a picture that you were totally going against it?
hey, if a guy is, but here's the thing, Jack. A mentally sick person is not easily detectable to be mentally sick. Okay?
Yeah, that's true.
It's just
I
true.
agree. I
So
agree.
whatever checks you
I
do,
agree.
unless you've been a bad guy,
If you
you're
want
gonna
to
pass it.
commit suicide, you kill yourself anyway.
Oh,
one way or the
absolutely.
other, right?
One way or the other.
One way or the other.
Right.
You can kill someone with a gun, with a knife,
A lot
or
of-
with a rope, or take poison or whatever.
A lot of car accidents where it's only one person and it doesn't involve any other cars. It rolls over and goes down a hillside.
I understand.
Those
I
are
understand.
suicides
I
too.
understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's a car accident, put it this way.
Yeah.
Even the terrorists who drove a car into the crowds, using cars as a weapon, nobody blames cars.
They killed 93
because
people
cars
in Paris.
are more common
Inanimate.
on the streets, right?
Well, right.
Yeah. It's inevitable.
Actually, there's
Cars
probably
are inevitable. And guns are not. That's why we're singling out guns.
There's more guns in America than cars, I'll bet. There's 300 million guns in America.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No problem. No
Yeah.
problem. Almost everybody has one.
A lot. It's yeah. I mean,
And the people have more than one because I don't have it.
well, some people are collectors. Okay, they like it. I mean, they're works of art too.
I have no problem when they have guns, but the government has to have more control, more rules of owning a gun.
Regulations in America have been drowning our country in economic chaos. And now with President Trump, there are less regulations, and look what's happened. We're up 4,700 points in the stock market since January 20th. Or I should say since November 8th when he was elected. Regulations are not our friends. The government over-regulates, over-controls our lives. We're supposed to be a country of citizens and individual rights, not government rights.
My doctor says to me,
Yeah.
every time when I ask him to prescribe me some antibiotics,
Yes,
and
sir.
he says, taking too much antibiotics is not helping you anyway, right?
Well,
Only
of course.
you take it only when necessary. And now, my doctor give me advices in both ways. Number one, when you are in need of help, take some antibiotics. And number two, when the problem is not that good, not that big, don't try it every time.
Right.
Now, the same thing applies to whatever you said.
It doesn't apply to the government.
No.
It doesn't.
The government is such a thing. At this very moment, though, when you're talking about Irma, when you're talking about Harvey,
Right.
do you hope that you have a government which is bigger or better?
Not bigger, no, I don't.
No, you don't.
No, I don't.
But lots of people do.
That's their
In their
decision.
anxiety, during their desperation, they wanted the government come to them right away, and the government did come. At this time, President Donald Trump got awarded because of his government respond.
Correct, but the
Responded
government
in
is
a massive
elastic.
way.
It's
Responded in a massive way,
Right.
in a timely manner, and that was appraised.
But let's go back.
Very positively.
But
Now,
yeah.
let me finish this with my doctor theory.
Okay.
Let's take government as antibiotics. You don't want to do it on every single day
government's a
basis.
virus.
At a time when you need it, it really works. You really need the government, all right?
You don't need
Don't give me the 100 denial. Go to extreme. 100 support. There is nothing 100%. Everything is nothing. There is nothing 100%.
I'm not
So,
sure what you're saying.
I argue with you the fact that you are saying the government does no good. No,
I
don't
didn't
do
say that.
Don't
I
do
said it's too big and too overly regulating the daily activities of the citizens of our country.
Okay, then we're on the same page.
Yep. Yep.
Now we're on the same page, all right?
Yep.
And what is the argument?
Well, and now industry, okay, our economy is on fire because there are less regulations. President Trump is really eliminating so many regulations that are just strangle a businessman, strangle a citizen.
That I agree with you. Even 2 days ago, I had this interview with my friend Tom Menso.
Okay,
He's a business owner,
good.
and he's being strangled by the government laws.
Yeah, yeah.
And he was here complaining about his lawsuit whatsoever. That's a different story for another day.
Sure.
Right now we're talking about using this to apply this philosophy or theory to the gun control discussion. The gun control rules or laws or regulations are quite necessary. Right
To a
now,
certain
you're talking
extent.
about
To a certain extent.
As to whatever extent the expert will work out, right? But philosophically, we want to agree with the fact that we, as America, need some more gun laws.
Well, you think so. Look, it's not, you say the experts will work it out, okay? It's not philosophical, it's ideological. The people that want to have all kinds of controls over a gun are ideologues. that only want to minimize the freedom of citizens, maximize the control of government.
If I would use some word to offend you, you told me the other day you're never offendable.
Impossible to offend me.
Everything on your lips goes to the extreme side.
No.
Can you be mild just for one show?
Yes, I'll
Please,
be mild.
right?
But this is a big deal.
Please. When I say we need to put some rules or controls to gun laws whatsoever,
We already have
the
them.
gun owners,
Yeah.
you push me all the way to the extreme end. We have already enough.
Well, we do have enough. A lot of them aren't even enforced, Jack.
Okay, now let's say the guns.
Yeah.
Let's say the guns. Let's say the guns. When we talk about the lunatic, people with mental problems owning guns, right? So do we have enough laws to prevent it?
Yes, there are laws that with a background check, if you have a mental problem, you can't buy a gun. But you can't tell who's a lunatic, okay?
And then go
it's
find
not
out.
easy.
Go find out.
Well, maybe
and that's why you need more rules.
But
That's
no.
why you need more checks.
No. What are you going to do? Have a psychiatrist interview someone for 4 hours every time somebody wants to buy a gun? Of course not. You can't do that.
If that's necessary.
No.
If that's necessary,
No.
what
A
problem wanna
lunatic
do
doesn't
it?
even know he's a lunatic often. That's a true statement, what I just said. A lunatic doesn't know it. I might be one. I don't think it. I don't know it.
If you would just release
Yeah.
some of the medical record, okay, and there was an argument of the Privacy Act, you will be little lose on the Privacy Act. You will have relatively enough information about who is a lunatic, who is not.
I doubt that's true, but are you against privacy? For example,
No,
Equifax.
You are once again pushing
No,
me. When I mention the Privacy Act,
Yeah.
you are saying I'm against the privacy.
Well,
I'm not against the privacy. I'm only asking to lose up a little bit.
Equifax just over 145 million people. All of their personal information that Equifax had about your credit worthiness in your life is
That's
now
a different
public.
story.
It's the same privacy. It's
No.
privacy.
That's a different story for another day. all right?
Okay.
Today we're talking about the Privacy Act of the Doctor-Patient Privacy Act. All right. For that to lose up a little bit, that will give you enough information about who are the lunatics, who does have the mental problem,
Well,
who shall not be given the right to buy guns.
do you know psychiatrists, if you admit to your psychiatrist, which I don't have one, that you want to
need
kill
one now.
people, that you want to kill.
You
I
need
need one now.
Okay,
I agree.
All right, good.
I agree.
All right, let's take a very
I'll drink to
short
that.
moment now. When we come back, we'll find him a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
All right, good. We're a close friend. We can joke any way we want.
I
no
love it.
problem. We can argue any way we want, so with no problem. And we'll be right back after this short break, please. Hello, dear friends, my lovely audience. Welcome back to the show. Jack and Ken are here to talk about the gun control in the wake of Las Vegas shooting. That was a very, very, very bloody atrocity.
Very bloody.
However, we still want to learn from it.
Yes.
Right. The lessons to learn from it, one of the lessons to learn from it is that we need, according to where I stand, I say we're not banning weapons or banning guns. We need more gun control measures.
I would beg you to tell me what you think we need.
Restriction.
What do you think in your mind would be additional restrictions we need, Jack?
I'm thinking
curious.
about, all right, putting about longer days, longer time in waiting.
Okay.
You don't buy a gun, well, one day in the morning, you get it the other day in the afternoon. Right? I want to prolong the time period for investigation.
How long?
For background check. I'm not a lawmaker. If I were the one
Okay. What
to
would
make
you do?
rules, I would think about 3 months or even 4 months.
Okay.
Or even half a year or something.
Well,
Because when you need a gun, you need a gun. You do not need a gun for emergency, am I right?
oh, you do need it for emergency. That's why you need guns. For someone breaking into your house, that's an emergency. You do need it for emergencies.
You're talking about absolute emergency. I'm talking
right.
about relative emergency.
It's relative.
That's different.
Okay.
That's different.
Okay.
I'm talking about to prolong the time period that's needed for background check, for procedures, for approvals.
But remember, I've said before, anybody can go illegally buy a gun.
That's let me finish. That's
Okay.
other story.
Yeah, okay.
How
But
we
it's true.
want to take care of the black market. That's another story.
Right. It's
A
impossible.
whole nother category.
Right.
Okay. Now, number two. Nowadays, when you walk to a gun shop, you fill out the request, you answer a few questions, and then they started the
background check,
the
yeah.
background check.
Right.
Once background check is over, and you go pick up your gun.
Yeah, if you pass.
Your ability only depends that your pass as a quiz over the counter.
Okay.
As how you manage your guns, how you operate your guns, you have subject to me. I mean,
Sure.
Okay. You suppose if I'm the one who makes laws or who can even propose a bill, something like that, right? I would make the law as a prerequisite for a person, for a gun owner, to go through some kind of training.
Oh,
As
for
to
training.
how- yeah,
That's
as to-
good. I like
as
that.
As to how much, as to what extent, I believe experts will find out to certain guns or at certain levels. For example, if somebody asks me to operate a machine gun, what is the 50 caliber?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
You need to be trained.
I need to be trained, or I need to be trained longer than the time that I needed
Right.
for me to shoot a pistol
Right.
or something like that,
Yeah.
right? So the expert, in my eyes, would define whatever time, what kind of training, what classes, what courses that you have to take to pass the test.
But what, like, just for
Do I make some sense?
You make sense, but okay. There's a clip that maybe 9 rounds goes into a pistol. You put it in and you take the safety off and you aim and you shoot. What other training are you thinking of? Because I'm curious. What other training? Now you also should know how to clean your weapon. That's important.
Yeah, of course, and at least do not. I mean, put the barrel in your own mouth.
Well, that's right. But if you need that training, you're a lost cause. Yeah, you're a lost cause.
All right, okay. And I don't know. For me to handle a gun, to handle any piece of weapon that kills, I believe I need a psychological training. I need a mind training.
Okay.
To train my mind to steadily hold it, right?
But what I would say, if a person needs psychological training and that, just don't have a gun. Okay, because
I know
most of us are sane.
You can practice guns.
Most of us are sane.
You can practice guns while you're being trained, but no gun is given to you, even if you paid for it. You can pay in advance, and you will not actually get your gun after you finish the training. How about that?
That's fine, but I think it won't make one death difference in the course of a year in America. It won't make any difference.
Okay.
The bad boys will
You
have
may
the guns.
argue with me.
No, I'm not arguing.
You
I think
may
it's
argue with me.
logical.
Yeah, go ahead. You may argue with
Yeah.
me. You may disagree with me. You may do whatever, right? I just want to think about it because it is you who ask me, what do I think?
What would you do? Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, what do I think
Right.
that we want to do to get more gun control?
I don't think we
And
can.
thirdly, I'm thinking about our training. Oh yeah, speaking of training
Yeah.
though, the training should have to include the rules that how you want to keep a gun in your house.
That's fine, but they're unenforceable. I have a lot of friends that have safes for their guns, okay, so their kids or whoever can't get in it, all right? A lot of my friends do that, and it makes a lot of sense.
And there are crazy rules about it because and the law asks you, I heard, I never tested myself, the law says that you want to separate your gun and your bullets.
Sure, yeah.
The magazine has to stay elsewhere. A loaded magazine has to stay elsewhere from where the gun is.
The only problem, Jack, and I understand the purity of your thinking there. The only problem is if I'm in my house and someone's breaking into my house, I probably don't have time to get my magazine and stick it in the gun to defend myself.
Why.
So how do you resolve
I would rather,
that?
on the contrary, number one, go more thorough background check, right? Number two, going through sophisticated training. And number four, to keep your gun always attached with the bullets, or otherwise you're holding a piece of metal.
That's right. No, that's right. It has no,
You stop functioning
it
as
has
a weapon.
no utility, right?
Right?
Right.
So it's totally wrong. It's totally wrong. Okay, if there comes a robber, so I have my gun right underneath my pillow.
Right.
And my magazine is in garage.
You're in deep trouble. Yeah.
I'm in deep trouble.
You're in
right?
deep trouble.
So,
Also, it's always important. You got to have the safety on the gun. Okay, that's really
yes.
That's basic.
And then if I say I want a gun and a magazine attached at all times, right? And then you want to have a safe box or somewhere that hold the gun.
Yeah, you might have one for defense and the rest under control.
And or in a safe place that probably underneath your bed.
Yeah, something.
Where your kids cannot get to, something like that.
I think you'll find this humorous, Jack. In my life, I've had 3 pistols, and I've had 3 houses ransacked, and all 3 guns have been stolen. That's bad luck.
Your gun been stolen?
Yes, 3 of them. At 3 different, with my house broken, I wasn't there. But 3 different times I've come home, my house has been ransacked and my pistol's gone. And it goes maybe to somebody that will use it poorly.
Have you ever recovered or do you know the law enforcement have recovered your lost guns?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't. They don't get found really. One was from my detective uncle in Chicago. He used to wear it on his leg, okay? One was a German Luger with all matching numbers and swastikas, World War II, and that was a wonderful weapon. You hold it up, you can't even feel it. The balance is it's a world's greatest pistol. And then another one was a 9mm.
All 3 were
All 3 were stolen when my house was 3 houses been broken into and robbed.
Did you check if there's in the Las Vegas room? There might be your gun.
These were pistols.
There were a bunch. There were a bunch of 34 of them anyway.
Right, yeah.
They do have a bunch, right? Okay. So now those are the points, the checkpoints that I want the laws to say, to make it into laws so that people will obey, people will see, all right, I can have the gun by Constitution, I have the right to have a gun, but you have to have your gun responsibly, right? So
that's common sense. But the bad people are responsible if they misuse that weapon.
And also, you have to revise laws. For example, in California, the way in California, I don't think any gun will protect us unless we copy Texas.
I love Texas. I hate California.
Conceived weapons.
Yeah.
The law allows you to wear concealed weapons. Otherwise, your weapon will not protect you at all.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I give you some analysis. Now we end up in a bar, right?
Right.
In the bar, I saw somebody killing somebody.
Okay.
Right? If I had a gun right here, I put a hold right there.
Right.
I fire a warning shot, and then next thing I can shoot him.
Yeah.
Right? That's in Texas.
Yeah.
Now, in Los Angeles, in California, right? I see the same thing. You guys hold there. I have a gun at home. Let me go home, take it.
Right. It's,
When we got home, your gun is underneath your bed and your magazine is in the garage.
right.
And you travel around your house, you put things together, you come back.
California does.
And to come back, you're violating law because you're carrying
Right,
guns.
they'll put you in jail for saving somebody's life with a gun. That's what they'll do. That's California.
All right.
California.
Anyway, I violated the law by carrying a gun on the street
Yeah.
before they can award me for saving somebody's life.
Yeah. I have tried to get a concealed carry permit, and you can get it in Orange County. You can't get it in LA County.
Okay, anyway. Okay, my dear audiences, lovely audiences, today we're talking about gun control. Gun control, not a banning of guns. Lots of people are getting oversensitive. Every time when the word gun control is mentioned, they're talking about, oh, somebody is trying to rip off my Constitution. No, please, baby, calm down. Nobody's going to do that. Let's take a very short moment out with Ken Hemming. I'm having a good time to express myself, to call for some gun control. I believe my friend Ken Hemming has agreed to some of the points already.
Sure.
All right, go. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Hello, dear friends, lovely audience. Welcome back to the show. Jack Zhao on the East West Show with the G&E TV. Today with me, my good friend Ken Hemming. We are having a very good time talking about gun control in the week of Las Vegas atrocity. That lots of people died, lots of people wounded. We, as a tradition, let the news pass. Let news take care of itself. We go deeper to more profoundly see what's inside the issue, right? The issue being that we should get into some more strict gun controls rather than it is. And speaking of gun control, there are laws which doesn't make sense about, for example, I mentioned about the guns and magazines are separate, right? Good. So with Ken Hemming, this segment, you and I probably want to talk about the fact about these two parties, left or right, or Democratic or Republicans. Do you think somewhere, somehow, they will get agreement in between to get to some of what I propose so far?
Not really. Not really. But here's what's interesting. You know, there's elections coming up, okay? And like the Democrats.
You mean midterm?
Yeah, midterm elections, they're coming up. And, you know, America likes the Second Amendment. A radical left doesn't like it, okay? But the people that are Democrats that are running, very interestingly, that will be up for re-election, very interestingly, have not made any major comments about gun control, because they know if they get on the bandstand and say we need to take guns away from everyone, we need more controls, we need all of this, they won't be elected. They won't be reelected. And so those that are not up for reelection are making all the noise, like Schumer and Pelosi and Hillary and that type of thing. But those that understand the reality that in America, we want that Second Amendment. It protects us, okay? Allows us to protect ourselves. And they're being real quiet. They're not saying anything.
Are you asking me to say it again?
Sure.
That every time when the term gun control is mentioned, is not a ban of weapon, is not a overturn of Amendment number 2?
I'm just saying those seeking re-election will be silent on the issue. Now the bump stock thing, whatever you call it, that's fine. They'll agree on that.
Okay.
But they won't agree on anything else.
At least we got something they agree on.
Right, and it's still a nothing thing. It won't save lives, because like a guy explained on TV, you could just have a belt and go blah, 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 just as fast as the bump stock.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we want to find a common ground. I want to see to Democratic or to Republican, life is life, the same extent, right? The same kind of life, right? We don't want one side pointing a finger at the other and vice versa.
Well, that's what they're doing.
We're saying that, okay, now, we want to, we the people,
Right.
we the taxpayers,
Right.
right? Because we paid our taxes, our money that you represent, right? Okay. When we say we don't like what you're doing now, you guys must listen. You better listen, or midterms coming, or you're out of office. Anyway, now we say, I want you to stop pointing finger at Cam, and Cam will stop pointing finger at Jack. So Ken and Jack are here, sitting down. Let's see, what can we both agree upon?
And yet, it only comes up when there's a shooting, okay? When there's no shootings going on, it's not even really
Yeah, that's the
pursued.
problem. That's the problem.
Yeah,
That's the
so
problem.
it's used for political purposes. This was politicized by the radical left Democrat leadership within an hour when people were still bleeding to death.
Exactly.
And it shouldn't have been.
Exactly,
The first response should be
we are into a
sorrow
habit.
and mourning.
We are
and
into a
caring.
habit when there is a Martin Luther King's Day. We started talking about Martin Luther King,
I love him.
and then a week later we forget everything. Right?
Well, maybe.
And there was a Veteran Day, which started talking. We all of a sudden remembered our veterans.
Except
We-
for the
we-
National Football League.
We smile, and
Not anymore.
a week later we forget.
Yeah.
Okay, now, that's why I said many times we want to make it a constant call. The constant call being that to these two parties, on matters of so devastating that the people die. Can you please stop arguing, stop pointing fingers, find your common ground first, and then resolve the difference one by one. How about that?
I think that's a dream. I think it's a fantasy. It is a
That's a fair call.
It's a fair call.
Yeah, that's a fair call, right?
It won't happen though, because there's so much.
It
hatred.
shall happen. It have to happen.
It
have
should,
to happen.
but on this issue, it won't.
Well, anyway.
But we'll see.
And then we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right. Let's see.
I wanna be
let's see
wrong.
How many of the issues that they can find a common ground for? For example, the bomb stock, which they did already. All right. And the magazines, the over 30 magazines, they did already.
Well, okay.
All right.
They're still
and
all over.
automatic machines, they did already. So by and by, they could get some to it. And then there are things on the contrary, like I said, to separate the guns and the bullets, your magazines. So
Well,
that is
then you
so
don't have a
stupid.
weapon. Yeah, then you don't have a
That
weapon.
is so stupid.
Right.
That is so stupid.
Yeah.
Right. So
The main thing America needs to come together on right now, Jack, is tax reform. We all need it. The country needs it, and
what with tax reform?
tax reform.
Tax
yeah.
reform.
That's where we need to get the Democrats and Republicans, because everybody, when you're taking care of your family economically, it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat or Republican. You're an American, and you want a vibrant economy, and we do need to make some adjustments to our tax
Are you saying
system.
that we're done with the gun control? We're moving on to
No, but I'll tell you
tax
this.
reform?
I'll tell you this. 2 weeks from now, it won't be as big of a deal. It won't. It goes, it comes, it explodes,
that I
and
agree.
it fades.
That I agree. That's
fades.
why
Something else comes up.
Jack, want to make it a constant call.
Yeah,
That's why.
we can follow that
We can
over the months.
Let's
the
see.
weeks,
Let's
yeah.
see what we can do.
Yeah.
Right. And that doesn't mean that I object the fact that you want to talk about the tax reform.
Well, it's just the need of America,
Because it is a need of America.
Yeah.
We need to do so.
which will help more
Right.
people.
And of course, our tax money, and we'll be able to hire some better representatives.
See, what I'm worried
Why
about right now, what I'm worried about on the gun issue is all of a sudden you're going to have to go into Ralph's to get milk. You're going to have to go through a gun protector or something, or a metal protector. You cannot protect, you cannot have the security that is perfect on every public event. And so I don't think there's any need to do anything different.
I
Life
understand what
is a
you're saying.
risk.
I do
Life
understand.
has
Now,
a risk.
Suppose
Yeah.
That guy has 34 weapons.
Okay.
Each of the 34 weapons.
How did he get him in that hotel?
Yeah. That
Right.
is exactly what I'm asking.
Right.
Each of that weapon is kind of a massive killer.
Oh yeah.
Am I
everyone
right?
is-
Okay,
is
now, how
lethal.
is he able to move around? Okay, now,
We don't
34
know.
guns, I'll tell you, it's going to be a truckload of guns.
Well, you know, like people are saying, you could put 5 rifles in a golf bag, you know, and then you have the top on the golf bag. So there's so many things. It could maybe he had an accomplice that worked in the hotel that got him
If
in.
you
I have
put
no idea.
five rifles in the golf bag,
Yeah.
and you know how heavy that is?
Well, sure.
That's going to be 100 pounds.
Well, okay, that's true. But here, but the other thing is,
And then altogether, you're talking about 600, 800, or 10, or 1,000 pounds.
right? But
You
also,
need a truckload.
he was there 4 days. Did the cleaning ladies come in? Did
Yeah,
they see anything?
you are
I'll
right.
bet they didn't
You're
have.
right,
I'll
you're
bet he
right.
never had a clean. He said, "Do not disturb."
You're right. That's why
All those
I
things.
say gun control should have to include that.
Well, yeah, whatever. But
Right?
yeah.
So when you want to check in, you want to check your bag or whatsoever, a screen will not hurt you, right?
Well,
wanna
if,
go
if it makes
scan?
it as long to check
wanna
into
go
a
scan?
no, but if it takes as long to check into a hotel as it does to get on an airplane with all of those security measures, people are just going to stop going to Vegas. It'll hurt.
Once again, you're talking about economy.
Well,
you're
yeah,
talking about
right.
money.
Right. Well, that's pretty important.
And then use the money to hire more employees so that the check-in time will not prolonged. How about that? Instead of waiting
It
for
won't work,
instead of waiting for 15 minutes,
Right.
when you have 4 clerks helping, how about we prolong the check-in for 30, yet we have 8 clerks help.
That's fine. That
same
reduces
thing.
the income of the hotel too. So what do you do? I mean, how much do you
Yeah.
spend on security?
Anyway.
And very few
The
people are bad
things
people.
are going
Very few
around,
people
yeah.
are bad.
All right, sure.
So bad just is random.
Well, anyway, I'm suggesting, I'm recommending, somewhere, somehow, we tighten everything that's loose.
You can't tighten everything in a whole country.
No, I
But
know.
certain things, yes.
Everything that's loose.
Yeah.
That's loose. You have 2 shoes, right? Yeah. So if any of the laces is loose, you want to tighten it. That's it.
Right.
Right.
But loose is an element of freedom. There is looseness in freedom.
All right. Okay. In philosophy, another day we'll talk. Okay.
Yeah, it's philosophical.
My dear friend, today with my brother Ken Hemming, we're having a nice discussion. As a matter of fact, I'm so surprised that today is one of the very moment that he argues with me very little.
Well,
On a normal day, he will do much more, but today he is much kind. He's mild, and stopped going extreme, stopped going radical, left or right or whatever. And I like that. Thank you very much for being what you are now.
and I'm on my way to my psychiatrist.
You are. You need one. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. My dear, thank
Love
you
you
very
guys.
much. Good.
Bye.